Yeah. 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3. So part of the getting things done framework, you have the weekly review, and that's when you get caught up on all your processing of your inbox, when your in trays and your inbox is just overflooding with stuff. So all the notes that you take throughout the week, the emails, the mail, just whatever ends up in your inbox of like things to do. It's when you go ahead and go through and process, you organize it. You either do it if it takes 2 minutes or less, or you delegate it, or you defer it to a future date, and then you got to kind of put it in these lists and manage it that way. But it's really, when you're getting started, it's really a lot of work. It's hard. And so I just did my weekly review on a Wednesday. I was supposed to do it last Friday, but I missed it. So I decided to get caught up. Anyways, it took me like 3 hours, just slightly distracted. It's gonna get better. Like the workouts will get easier the better I get, but man, a lot of work. But it's pretty fulfilling. Like you go through and you start knocking shit out. It's 2 minutes or less, and you're just banging through it, banging through it, banging through it, and you get caught up on a lot of stuff. And so it's good from that standpoint, but man, it's a lot of work. And you're constantly like battling this like, well, I should be actually doing work versus defining the work that I'm going to do. No, just do the work right now because you have all this time. No, define the work so you can do it at the right time. It's like this constant mental battle back and forth. I read this piece on the art of manliness about doing stuff and then talking about doing stuff. So you go and you put on a marketing event and you just do that thing and then you move on and you go to the next thing and you just accumulate stuff like that. Versus in today's day and age, it's kind of like, well, you have to document, share, talk about that thing because you can either build your personal brand presence or you can just conceptualize things and learn how to talk about things better, much like what I like to do a lot on these vlogs right here. But it just got me thinking, like, if you're a craftsman and you just want to make the thing, you don't want to do any of the other BS, but the people that are doing a lot of the other BS maybe are getting other inbound opportunities or other things like that that are coming as a result of just talking about the process and making content around it, because you can leverage this media into other things, right? So I'm working on a piece right now where I just did all of the, talking about the behind the scenes of the Arm Farm event that we put on, the Arm Farm reunion tour, banger event, and just like going through, and it's a good exercise of just like talking about the event and conceptualizing it in my head, but at the same time I'm thinking to myself like, well, I should just be doing actual work, not necessarily talking about the work that I did, right? But the downstream positive impact of potential opportunities that'll come our way as a result of that makes the sort of time worth it, particularly if you can get fast and good at just cranking these things out. So what else has been happening on the business front? Well, our 6-week free transformation challenge program off to a ripping start. Top of this week, we closed 3 or 4 today. Mariana had 4 meetings, she closed 3, that's a 75% conversion. What I've been doing is basically being the setter. So I'm setting the appointments, I'm confirming the appointments of the leads that we have, and then from there the managers are gonna be the ones that just do the meetings and do the closes. And what we're really ironing out and working on is, one, I'm building the process for what it's gonna be like to get a virtual assistant or a setter to come in, or one of our folks here at Allegiant to be able to set those appointments on an hour-a-day basis. And then on the manager side, Go High Level is pretty good in terms of some things of tracking the appointments, but when it comes to actually seeing what our close rate percentage is, what meetings are showing up, what meetings are closed, it's not as good. So I'm just building a very simple scorecard. I'm not going to have redundancies for our managers, but it's going to serve multi-purposes. One, the managers at the end of the day are going to have the accountability where it's like, this is exactly what you do. You go, you update your calendar, you update your opportunities, everybody's in the right pipeline, and then you fill out your scorecard. How many meetings did you have? How many did you close? That'll automatically spit out a close percentage. And then if you, using Google Sheet, you extrapolate that over the week and you just use a couple formulas and boom, that'll week by week by week, it'll show exactly what rep, how many meetings you're having, what our close rate percentage is. So this will be a really good scorecard where we'll be able to track and hold everybody accountable. So when we get to the end of the week, it's not going back and having to update and clean a bunch of data. It's all being done right then and there in the actual, at the end of the shift. It takes a couple minutes to be able to do this, but it's going to hold us accountable. It's going to be competitive because we're going to see who's crushing and who's not. And then at the end of the week, we're going to have it all sort of set. So whenever the marketing team comes in and sees like, hey, how are you guys doing with these leads? Boom, we can just point right to that.